Let's talk about the successes and any unexpected benefits.
Yeah, I mean, from the sort of learning point of view, the initial feeling when people come along to the training is, can you train me how to use it in my job? But actually, if you've got a classroom of 10, 15 people, all with different jobs, it's very difficult to do that, if not impossible. So what we focused on is training people on how to use the tool. So what is a prompt, the art of prompting, and how to get the most out of it. And actually what people have found is going out, we focus on kind of trying to get their imagination going of different ways they could use it, whether that's, some of it may be slightly sort of personal because they relate to it and they remember it. And then suddenly people have come out of the sessions and just had that, oh my God moment, I could do this or I could do that. And I had one sort of funny scenario, I'll share it as a story, where one of the managers came to me and said, my team would like to use AI, but they don't know how to use it. Could you jump on a call? So we did. And they asked the question and said, well, we don't know what we don't know. So how can we use it? So I said, well, let's ask Copilot the question. So I'm this person, I have a team, this is what my team do. Could you give me a list of 10 items in this environment that I could use AI for to help improve our productivity or whatever? And actually, within seconds, it gives you that list. And the manager at team was furiously writing things down, and again was like, well, we can use Copilot like that. So there was a different way of using it than meeting notes, which it's brilliant at doing, but there's so much more outside the kind of standard things that you think about. And when that penny drops and you start asking it questions, it's amazing what it can do.
And I think the way that people are now using AI has actually transformed how they're starting to work. So we've had lots of conversations, even internally, right, where someone's come to us and said, we have a shared mailbox for this thing, and absolutely Copilot can help, but then, to your point, Andy, around modifying, I guess, how people are interacting with the tech, the question that we ask back is, well, do you need a shared mailbox for that? Is that the way that you're supposed to do things? Would something like Microsoft Form not actually be better? So I think one of the big transformations that I've certainly seen is, and even in my work, the way that I'm now doing things is completely different to how I would have 12 months ago. So if I'm doing, management reporting, if I'm doing any lengthy documentation as an example, 12 months ago, I would have, to your point earlier, had a blank page, gone from scratch and tried to think of something to say or something to put in there. And I think everyone gets writer's block after a while, right? It's very common. What I'm now doing is setting up a Teams meeting with myself for 5 minutes, recording myself and talking at myself, essentially, and saying all of the things that are on my mind of, here's what I'm wanting to put on this page, here's the process that I'm thinking to go through, here's all of the content that's in my mind. Instead of me trying to formulate that into something a bit more meaningful, actually I'm just, essentially brain dumping and saying, okay, Copilot, now go and make this make sense. Essentially, go and create a Word document off of the back of the 10-minute recording that I've just created, and go and make a document for me. With that document, I'll then turn that into a PowerPoint. So I guess for me, I think the massive benefit has been, I guess at a macro level, it's making me more efficient, absolutely, but it's completely changed how I work in a lot of scenarios.
Another area I think has been a benefit is internal communications. So one real good use case we came across was, we've got a new policy which HR pushed out. Here's the policy, read the policy, it's an updated policy from previously, and you all need to be aware of it. Of course, that goes to the entire company. But actually what we've done is we've used Copilot, as Matt alluded to earlier, to compare the two documents and to write a script that can then be used, and whether that script is put as text on your company intranet, whether that's turned via text-to-speech, via something like Microsoft Clipchamp or other tools, you can then turn that into a video. So rather than just push a document out and go, there you go, there's a new policy, go read it, and it's 57 pages long, you've actually created a 30-second internal communication video which explains the differences and the rationale as to why, which you can use Copilot really easily and quickly to do. And actually you've communicated that out far more effectively than just push out an email to 700 people and say, read that, which in reality not everybody's going to do. So again, lots of different ways of using it to great effect.
think I spoke to a public sector council, and they spend millions of pounds on language translation services. And when I showed them the ability that Copilot can support 40 different languages in transferring my document into a different language, or PowerPoint or leaflet or whatever it may be, they were blown away by that. You know, that was going to provide them a significant saving to the organisation.
No, that's fantastic. They're all really good benefits and improvements that I think we've all seen at Bytes. If we had a magic wand, how would we do things differently? What changes potentially would we make when rolling out Copilot?
Interesting question. I think our challenge, and if we could roll back the clock, gathering use cases really will help. Understanding how Matt and everybody have used Copilot and gathering that centrally so you can communicate that out and you create a library of them, I think that does two really important things. One is you don't know what you don't know, so you've got somewhere to go and look and to give you that inspiration, to give you the confidence to use the tool effectively on a personal level. But then the next level is a business level to say, when it comes to return on investment, how do you justify the return on investment of Copilot? Because actually when you're using it for you, it's saving you time. But how do you, is it a minute here, an hour here, a day here? How do you quantify that? But actually when you've gathered the prompts together and you find business level prompts that 400 people in sales can use, and they use it 10 times a day and they use it 5 days a week, every working day of their life, you can put a cost on that, so you can then calculate a return on investment. But to get to that kind of level 2, if you like, you have to get through level 1, which is the confidence of using it to get effective results. So I think the gathering of those prompts is really key. And how do you do that to encourage your employees and your staff to submit them, and then so that you can then work on them sort of centrally to find those gold nuggets which are going to save you a lot of time.
I think I'd echo that, and I think we saw at the beginning of this process that we were doing live demonstrations, art of the possibles, to try and showcase the technology to the people, whereas we've actually changed that slightly now in terms of capturing those business use cases. You know, how are those departments going to actually use Copilot, and what are the time savings or the customer success stories that are going to come from using Copilot within their organisational departments?
Absolutely, what Matt and Andy have said is spot on. I think the biggest thing for me has been moving, or we could have moved away sooner from thinking it's a technology challenge to being a change and adoption challenge. I think the way that everyone, not just Bytes, but everyone was approaching this, 12 months ago was, it's technology, let's treat it like a technology. And actually, to Matt's point, that's not really accurate. It's not what we've seen. It's people. It's people, process, and understanding all the the small parts of what people do every day to actually figure out what the benefit is.
All those are fantastic user cases, and that's where we're able to benefit our customers, is learning from what we've done and being able to pass that knowledge on to them so that we can help them go through the people, process, technology bit at the end.